This is question 1 from an AP or myAP progress check, and it's progress check 6B. We're going to run through each one of these, and this will be just question 1, though. More videos on the rest of them here following shortly. In question 1, your calculator is okay to use, and it says let f be a differentiable function such that f at 1 is equal to pi over 2. That might be important. And f prime of x is equal to this whole mess over here. And we're asked to find the value of f at 3. When I look at this problem, I'm thinking to myself, if I can find the antiderivative of f prime, that's going to give me just f. When we set this up, we want to set this up then using an integral, and we want to use f prime of x here, dx. That's going to be equal to the antiderivative evaluated at the lower and upper limit, and it'll be the antiderivative, which is f, evaluated at the upper limit minus f evaluated at the lower limit. The next question is, what should those upper and lower limits be? Let's see if we have any values of x from our given information or what we want to find. Here we have an x value of 1, and we have its output, so that'll be useful. And we want to find the value of f at 3, so our x value is 3. So that'll give you your lower and upper limits of integration. We can fill in the f at 3 here and the f at 1. So this is the fundamental theorem of calculus, and we're using that to try to evaluate an antiderivative, which is f at 3. What we're going to do here, folks, is we're going to type this into our calculator. This is a calculator problem, so use that calculator. You're allowed to use it to figure out the derivative or integral of a particular expression. So you're going to type this in your calculator from 1 to 3 of 3, and then you're going to use the inverse tangent. So that's the same thing as the arc tangent, just a different way of writing it. And then you'll do x squared minus 3x plus 2. Of course, make sure you're in radian mode. And we've got dx over here as well. Now that's going to be equal to f at 3, which we don't know, so that's going to be our variable, minus f at 1. Well, f at 1 is pi over 2. To type this in, you're going to hit math, and then you're going to hit number 9. And if you hit math, and then you hit number 9, it's FNINT. So that'll be this one right here. If you have the newer version, you can just fill in the spots. There's like a little box here and a little box here, and then there's a box here that you're going to actually fill in. And then the variable of integration you got to fill in as well. I would just use x for this whole thing. If you don't have that in your calculator, once you hit enter here, you're going to get this. It's just going to say FNINT. So your expression for the integrand is going to go here. So that's going to be 3 inverse tangent of x squared minus 3x plus 2. Once again, if you see the other stuff that we just discussed, this doesn't apply to you. This is just if you have the older version of the software in your calculator. You're going to do a comma, then you're going to do x, that's the variable of integration. Then you're going to do the lower limit and the upper limit, and you'll close it off and hit enter. That's going to do the same thing that this does. Now, when you type that into your calculator, you're going to get about 1.328. So pause the video if you haven't already and see if you can get about 1.328. That's still going to be equal to f at 3 minus pi over 2. You do not need on the calculator portion to show your work for the antiderivative evaluated from 1 to 3. Use your calculator to do that. You can go straight from that step right down to this one right here. The last thing to do to solve for f at 3 is just to add pi over 2. So in your calculator, I would just hit plus pi over 2, and it will automatically bring down the answer from the previous one, or you can type in 1.328. It's best to use your previous answer, though, because 1.328 is rounded, and you don't really want to round during the middle of your calculations. You only want to round at the end. And if you type this in, 1.328, or your answer plus pi over 2, you wind up with f at 3 being equal to 2.899. 2.899 is answer or choice C.